look at some of the proposed changes at the Middleton Airport as city leaders are expected to take its first action on a new master plan next week.
Plus, a judge rules on what should be done with the rifle Kyle Rittenhouse used during the 2020 protest in Kenosha. The agreement coming up.
News 3 Now at 10 starts right now. And thanks for joining us tonight. Next week, the City of Middleton's Common Council is expected to take its action on a new proposed master plan for the city's airport. Among some of the improvements in the proposal, the purchase of nearby farmland for new and expanded runways and a new hangar development as well. It is a 50-year-old airport, but not everyone is on board with those potential upgrades.
Our Tahalil Mohideen spoke with those impacted and shares why they want city leaders to keep things the way they are.
Our goal is to have a viable, sustainable airport.
A master plan years in the making is headed to the Middleton Common Council for consideration.
All the work that we've done for the last 4 years doesn't mean anything if we don't do something with this document.
It's an opportunity for leaders to weigh in on the recommendations for the future of the Middleton Airport, potential plans for expansion and redevelopment that have some in the area voicing their opposition.
I think the airport, though, has gotten to the point where it's as large as it ought to get.
Paul Montague has lived in the town of Middleton for more than 40 years, and he says he understands there's pressure for growth, but is worried about the environmental impact.
The pollution that would come with it, the size of the airplanes.
Alder Robert Burke says city leaders recognize those concerns and have plans to invest in lead-free fuel.
We're right on the cusp of being able to switch planes over to unleaded fuel.
Still, Montague, like others in the area, are also worried about a potential increase in traffic and noise.
I feel that the sky is kind of saturated around here.
But Alder Burke says proposed plans to pave a new runway would actually redirect traffic from residential to industrial areas.
The goal is really to keep the mix of airplanes the same and to keep the traffic at the airport the same, or with just a moderate amount of growth.
It's growth most residents are okay with, so long as airport use doesn't increase more than the predicted 5%.
That would be exactly where I would stand.
The Middleton Common Council is set to review the resolution next Tuesday. Should it get approved, officials say there's still a lot of steps to take before any changes could be made and more space for public input. An approval would allow the city to explore funding opportunities with the Federal Aviation Administration.
New tonight, on a 4-3 vote, the Wisconsin Supreme Court has ruled ballot boxes can remain in place, at least for the upcoming spring primary on February 15th. After the primary, the court will hear additional arguments about whether to keep them available for the midterm election when Governor Evers and Senator Ron Johnson are on the ballot.
After a brief break from the bitterly cold weather, well, it is back, so let's get a look at what's in store for the rest of tonight and on into the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti and our certified most accurate forecast. Gary?
Well, yesterday we had temperatures in the mid-30s. Today, about 20 degrees colder. Let's take a look at the time-lapse from the WISC Skycam. We had sunshine for much of the day today, but it really didn't help temperatures very much. Winds are out of the west and northwest, and that brought in the colder air that really dropped temperatures compared to where we were yesterday afternoon. Doppler track right now, free of precipitation across southern Wisconsin. As we check out high temperatures today, they were in the middle to upper teens. Madison topped out at 17. Janesville and Mineral Point were a couple of the warmer spots around 19, but right now, temperatures are in the lower teens. A few places have dropped into the single digits. Wind chills really aren't much of a factor, but any kind of a breeze will drop wind chills below zero, and you're seeing that in a few spots. Future track wind chills by tomorrow morning, again, probably as cold as 15 below zero in just a few spots. Otherwise, look for a low of about 3 below zero in Madison. High tomorrow, 22 with variably cloudy skies. We'll see a quick warm up for the early part of next week, but some snow midweek and colder weather at the end of the week. I'll have more on that in the forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. The Milwaukee police officer who was shot and wounded last night was released from the hospital this afternoon. The 26-year-old officer has been identified as Herbert Davis. He's been with the Milwaukee PD for 7 years. He was responding to an individual who was slumped over in a car, and the suspect exchanged gunfire with him. Both were hit. 3 Milwaukee officers have now been shot in the line of duty this month. Funeral service for fallen New York City police officer Jason Rivera held today at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Thousands braving the weather for his final farewell. The 22-year-old rookie and his partner were killed after responding to a domestic violence call last week. The gunman who killed them was fatally shot by a 3rd officer. Last year, gunfire killed 61 officers in the line of duty nationwide. That's a 36% increase over 2020.
A judge today approved an agreement by lawyers to destroy the AR-15 rifle rifle that Kyle Rittenhouse used to shoot 3 people in the summer of 2020. Assistant District Attorney Thomas Binger says the state crime lab would destroy the gun, probably in April.
The parties, the defense, the state, and also Dominic Black, who purchased that firearm, have all signed off on a stipulation whereby the Kenosha Police Department and Joint Services will destroy that firearm as well as the magazine and the scope. So that will be a weapon that will be destroyed. It will not be in anyone's possession.
Rittenhouse, who was acquitted in November of killing 2 people and shooting another, asked the court earlier this month to order the release of the gun because he wanted to destroy it, according to a court document filed by his attorney.
A Madison man now being charged in the crash that killed a local high school student earlier this month. 41-year-old Cedarius Goodall being held on a $50,000 cash bond, facing multiple charges, including hit and run involving death. 14-year-old Jeremiah Broomfield, a freshman at La Follette, died of injuries he suffered in the crash. It happened on Schrader Road. 2 others were also injured. A federal judge resentences Tiger King's Joe Exotic to 21 years in prison today, reducing his punishment by just a year, despite pleas from the former zookeeper for leniency as he begins treatment for cancer. Joe Exotic, whose real name is Joseph Maldonado Passage, was convicted in a murder-for-hire case involving animal activist Carol Baskin. Both were featured in the Netflix documentary.
A skilled nursing facility in Iowa County will soon be shutting its doors. This week, the county board voted to close Bloomfield Healthcare and Rehabilitation Center, which has served the community for more than 60 years. Its current facility is outdated, and it needed to be completely rebuilt. They're also overwhelmed by the cost of an ongoing staffing shortage. In 2021, they spent more than $800,000 to hire contracted staff to fill their positions.
That was basically the final straw was the staffing, and the high cost of staffing, as well as building replacement costs have gone way up as well. And we're just facing the reality.
Myers says current residents will be moved to nearby facilities, and they will remain open until all residents have a new place to go.
The House committee investigated the January 6th Capitol riots, issuing 14 new subpoenas today, this time targeting individuals which it says falsely tried to declare Donald Trump the winner of the 2020 election. The panel says the individuals met and submitted false electoral college certificates from 7 states, including Wisconsin. President Joe Biden won all 7 states in question. President Biden traveled to Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh to tout his accomplishments and infrastructure law. The event held just miles away from what is now a pile of rubble after a well-traveled bridge collapsed this morning. Local officials say no one died, though 10 people were injured. Skylar Henry reports.
On the other side of the concrete there.
President Biden toured the scene of a bridge collapse in Pittsburgh. It happened hours ahead of his planned speech to sell the bipartisan physical infrastructure law.
I didn't realize there are literally more bridges in Pittsburgh than any other city in the world. You're going to fix them all.
A Port Authority bus and multiple other vehicles were on the bridge at the time. County officials say there were only minor injuries after a very physical rescue effort.
Technicians rappelled down using ropes to go down over the side. Also did like a daisy chain with hands, just grabbing people and pulling them up.
The White House launched a $27 billion program to fix the nation's aging bridges under the new infrastructure law, including those locally funded, such as the one in Pittsburgh.
We're the city of bridges. These funds are critical to make sure that we're able to provide a safe transportation infrastructure.
While in Pittsburgh, the president also touted economic progress and his Build Back Better social spending policies. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
In a tweet, the NTSB said it has sent a GO team to help with the investigation into the cause of the bridge collapse in Pittsburgh. Its deck condition and superstructure were recently rated in poor condition, according to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's website. Last November, our Naomi Coles looked into the infrastructure bill and its effects on bridges here in Wisconsin. The Century Avenue Bridge over Pheasant Branch Creek in Dane County is among the top 10 most traveled, structurally deficient bridges in the state. Repairs were made last summer, and federal funds will be used to speed up a project to replace the bridge. You can find more information in Naomi's story at channel3000.com.
West Virginia Governor Jim Justice used an unusual visual during his State of the State speech today. The governor brought along his pet bulldog to provide a special message to critics of his state.
Baby dog tells Bette Midler and all those out there, kiss her honey.
Well, the governor's quip came in response to actress and singer Bette Midler's criticism of West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin. In attacking Manchin, Midler claimed that West Virginians were, quote, poor, illiterate, and strung out. Authorities are investigating after offensive graffiti was found on parts of Washington, D.C.'s Union Station. It included swastikas and profanity, including profanity directed at former President Barack Obama. The anti-Semitic symbols appeared just a day after International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
So to come at 10, the weekend is here. Gary will let us know if the weather will cooperate, plus addressing a pilot shortage. United Airlines is launching a program to train the next generation of pilots.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast. News 3 Now at 10.
Furniture and Appliance Mart's multi-million-dollar clearance event is on now. Save up to half off appliance clearance items while they last. Plus, no interest financing for 12 months on all appliances with no minimum purchase. At Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline.
I was a Navy submariner for over 20 years. I spent a large portion of my life underwater. Service is about putting your country before yourself. But Senator Ron Johnson uses his office to serve himself. Ron Johnson passed a special tax break that benefited his family's business, then cashed out of the company for $5 million. Ron Johnson has doubled his wealth since he's been elected. That's not what service is about. Tell Ron Johnson to stop voting for tax laws that benefit himself.
To count down the days, but my ski trip to Cascade Mountain with my cousin each year, so much fun. We used to pretend like we were flying. Now, we really do. My dad and my uncle like that we still ski free. But Noah and I, we just have fun. See you there.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. Meet new friends or reconnect with some old ones and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Step into the new with a new Chevy. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy vehicles. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $750 bonus cash. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Dirt's gonna fly at the Alliant Energy Center. The Monsters of Destruction, February 4th and 5th at 7:30 and the 6th at 2 p.m. Top monster trucks including Laminator, War Wizard, and Crazy Train, along with the insane action of freestyle motocross. Every ticket includes a pit pass for the pit party with drivers and riders, plus go for a ride in a monster truck. Get tickets and details at monstersofdestruction.com. Get ripped up. The Monsters of Destruction, February 4th, 5th, and 6th.
It's here, Wisconsin. Ashley Home Store's mega clearance event is on now. Millions of dollars worth of in-stock clearance, floor sample, and special purchase furniture and mattresses must be sold. This is your chance to save as much as 85% off while it lasts. Plus, no interest financing for 3 years store-wide. Only at Ashley Home Store.
Hey, folks, Saturday morning we'll have the weekend's top headlines, including efforts to slow down the spread of coronavirus.
Plus, we'll have the updated track on the next chance for some snowfall. We'll time it out, your certified most accurate forecast Saturday at 5 and 8.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. A key inflation measure rose last year at the fastest pace since 1982. The Bureau of Economic Analysis says inflation was up 5.8% between December 2020 to December of last year. Energy prices climbed nearly 30%, and food prices rose 5.7%. American incomes also rose with inflation, but at a slower pace. Personal incomes increased 0.3%. 2021 was also a rough year for gas prices, and more pain at the pump is here again. Oil prices have gone up for the 6th week in a row, rebounding from the Omicron outbreak and the U.S.-led intervention into energy markets. As for gas, according to AAA, the national average hit $3.36 a gallon today.
The release of Tesla's highly anticipated Cybertruck is getting delayed again. CEO Elon Musk told investors this week the pickup won't be ready until 2023, 2 years after January it was promised. Musk said the main issue is new technology and finding a price people are willing to pay for it. When the truck was announced in 2019, it had a starting price of about 40 grand. Airlines are struggling to find new pilots. Next year, airlines expect to have a shortage of more than 12,000 pilots. United Airlines has launched a program to train the next generation of pilots, including promoting other workers to fill those vacancies. Errol Barnett got a look at the new program.
Lifting off at dawn in the Sonoran Desert means catching this special morning view in the Valley of the Sun.
It felt like a joyride. I love it. I love flying.
Mother of two, Ricky Foster, is at the helm, learning the ropes with her flight instructor. A former flight attendant, she has been inspired to upgrade her wings.
Show me an excuse and I'll show you how you can overcome that, you know?
Foster is one of 59 students in the inaugural classes of United Airlines Aviate Academy in Goodyear, Arizona. CEO Scott Kirby says this is their effort to combat the persistent staffing shortage on the flight deck.
We've got over 100 regional aircraft that effectively aren't flying because there's not enough pilots to fly them.
By FAA regulation, pilots have to retire at age 65, and by one estimate, almost half of them will within 15 years. Couple that with the pandemic, which slowed the rate of new pilots taking to the skies, and it's almost impossible to keep pace with all the open seats.
One of the biggest sources for airlines was the military. The problem today is there are not that many pilots in the military. There are a lot of drone pilots, so that doesn't really help in terms of being able to bring people in.
United expects 50% of its pilots to come from this program, and half of those will be women and people of color. For Foster, who is originally from Jamaica, this journey is also about how her 17-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter see her.
They got to come in and check out the airplane, and I have a picture of my son sitting by my name. He was so proud in the picture, like, this is my mom, you know.
Future flyers bringing it home for the family. Errol Barnett, CBS News, Goodyear, Arizona.
A dangerous winter storm is bearing down on the East Coast, expected to hit tomorrow. At least 6 states have declared states of emergency, and airlines have preemptively canceled thousands of flights. Mayor Eric Adams said New York City was ready for whatever it may bring. In Massachusetts, coastal residents are boarding up homes and officials readied sandbags. Forecasters say Boston could experience one of the biggest single-day snow totals on record. And Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has a closer look at what is approaching the East Coast.
Yeah, you can see blizzard warnings right along the coast, all the way from the Delmarva Peninsula in southern portions of Maryland and northern Virginia through Delaware, and then right up the East Coast into New Jersey, Boston, all of Rhode Island, and then into parts of Maine. Winter storm warnings are in effect inland, and then winter weather advisories farther to the west. But you can see on Doppler track precipitation now primarily in the form of snow. That rain snow line just off the coast, so that means even the coastal areas will get heavy snow, and that's the type of situation that these nor'easters can bring. If you have enough cold air, there's plenty of moisture here from the ocean, so you can get some very heavy snowfall totals. In fact, if you look at record snowfall totals, you'll see them much higher in this part of the country, even though they annually don't get as much snow as we get here in Madison, and that's why our highest snow total ever in Madison is 17.3 inches, but many of these locations have seen 2 to 3 feet of snow as their all-time records. No snow around here. That's good news. The bad news is that it's cold. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Look for another bitterly cold night tonight. We'll see dry weather through the weekend and into early next week, and then we're watching a winter storm for the middle part of next week. Now, most of our part of the Midwest, still several inches of snow on the ground, so that'll keep our temperatures cold. On future track from the European computer model, notice by Wednesday noon, the snow just getting into far southeastern Wisconsin, and pretty much a sharp cutoff north and west of Madison. Very little snow there. Perhaps some heavier lake effect snows into the Milwaukee and Chicago areas, but you can see by early on Friday morning that snow pulls out. From the European computer model, heaviest snow northeastern Illinois into northern Indiana. Some areas there could pick up 1.5 feet of snow. The U.S. computer model, noticed by early on Wednesday morning, that snow covering much of southern Wisconsin. The heavier snow down toward the Illinois state line and into southeastern Wisconsin. But again, the snow cuts off pretty quickly to our west, and then there could be some heavy lake effect snow bands even into Friday morning. Notice the snow totals, maybe as much as 8 to 10 inches in Milwaukee because of that lake effect snow band. Heavier totals again down into parts parts of northeastern Illinois and northern Indiana. North and west of Madison, a couple of inches there, maybe a couple of inches here in town. So as far as the winter storm potential, probably unlikely for our part of Wisconsin, possible over far southeastern Wisconsin and northeastern Illinois, and then more likely into parts of Indiana and southern Michigan. High temperatures today, about 20 degrees colder than yesterday. 17 was the high here in Madison. Yesterday we were at 35. But notice there is milder air to the west. That's an area that doesn't have any snow on the ground, and they were able to warm up pretty quickly today. So overnight, look for a low of 3 below zero. We could see wind chills in a few spots down to 15 below zero. Tomorrow, variably cloudy, not quite as cold as today with a high temperature of 22. And as we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, a slow warming trend into early next week. A slight chance of snow on Tuesday afternoon. The better chances of snow Wednesday afternoon into Thursday morning, and then bitterly cold weather for the end of next week.
A marquee matchup in high school boys basketball. We've got highlights from the top 10 showdown coming up next in sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Wow, the coldest January in 35 years.
Employees need to be paid and property taxes are due.
That's why Crazy Lenny is selling e-bikes at cost.
Free storage till April. Warranty starts at pickup.
The coldest January in 35 years. You'll never pay less for an e-bike.
Crazy Lenny's e-bikes.
I'm a little old to count down the days, but my ski trip to Cascade Mountain with my cousin each year, so much fun. We used to pretend like we were flying. Now, we really do. My dad and my uncle like that we still ski free. But Noah and I, we just have fun. See you there.
Over these past months, we've all experienced changes and a great deal of reflection. But here's a change you can truly be excited about. Sono Bello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist, permanently removes the fat from your stomach, hips and thighs, and back.
I walked past mirrors. I didn't want to see any of that. I can't even tell you how excited I am about Sono Bello and what they've done for me.
I'm just living my best life now because I'm being the best that I can be.
Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently. Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. Plus, get $250 off instantly. You deserve to do something for you. Call 1-888-512-1753 or go to sonobello.com now.
Hold on, I'm coming. You didn't tell me you were getting McDonald's.
Enjoy a sausage McMuffin or sausage biscuit with hash browns. Each bundle just $2.
Don't miss the new Lake Homing Cabin Show, January 28th through 30 at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. New products and fresh ideas. Everything for your getaway lifestyle is here.
Weather can be weathered with technology there to help you in a Ford Escape. Winter roads can be tough. Bronco Sport, tougher. And Explorer can take the bite out of chilly mornings. Ford, winter like you mean it. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2021 Edge or Escape and get 0% financing for 66 months plus $1,000 cash back. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Why ice on days are growing scarcer from Madison's Lakes, Sunday at 10.
Wow, the coldest January in 35 years.
Employees need to be paid and property taxes are due.
That's why Crazy Lenny is selling e-bikes at cost.
Free storage till April. Warranty starts at pickup.
The coldest January in 35 years. You'll never pay less for an e-bike.
Crazy Lenny's e-bikes.
To say it's going to be a busy weekend for the Wisconsin women's hockey team is an understatement. A 5-day road trip to the land of 10,000 lakes with 3 games against 2 teams, and it all begins tonight against St. Cloud State. Well, the Badgers looking for different results in Minnesota this weekend. Huskies, they get on the board pretty quick, less than 30 seconds, and St. Cloud nets one. Now it takes all the way until the 3rd period on a power play for Wisconsin to knot it up. McKenna Webster makes it happen, but this one ends in a tie. The Badgers get the extra point in the standings from the shootout. Game 2 is set for tomorrow at 3. While the women are on the road, the men are back at the Kohl Center hosting 4th-ranked Michigan for 2. Now, earlier this season, the squad split the series. Badgers dig themselves into a 2-goal hole. They're able to cut the lead in half off the stick of Carson Bantle, but the Wolverines net 3 more goals. They win Game 1 5-1. This series wraps up tomorrow at 8. And Wisconsin wrestling on the road taking on the Terrapins. The Badgers did not hold back at all. They win 39-4 to improve to 9-1 on the season. UW will compete in the Low-Ross Open tomorrow in Iowa. Their next home meet is in 2 weeks against Illinois. A trio of Wisconsin head coaches are getting 5-year contract extensions. Football's Paul Christ, volleyball's Kelly Sheffield, and women's soccer Paula Wilkins. Badger football finished the season 9-4, including a bowl victory in Las Vegas. Sheffield led his team to the program's first ever national title just a month ago. Stakes are high tonight in high school hoops, a top 10 Division II matchup between Badger Conference rivals Milton and DeForest. Redhawks jump out to an early lead, but the Norskies are not shying away, especially Max Weisbrod. He lets it fly from the top of the key. That forces Milton to take a timeout. Well, they quickly regroup, force the turnover, and Jack Campion goes the distance for 2. The Redhawks just flexing all over the court tonight. Brady Kavanaugh from the wing gives them a solid lead to work with. They go on to win 73-56, now sporting a 15-2. Nowadays, it's pretty common to see girls on the wrestling mats, and as the sport continues to grow, so are the opportunities for girls to compete against the best and possibly have something to show for it. History is about to be made.
I've never really thought that anything like this would happen.
For the first time ever, Wisconsin will hold an official girls' state wrestling tournament.
And then all of a sudden, here you are in this big life-changing thing, and it's just more of an honor to actually be in something like this.
And 3 Jefferson wrestlers are going to be part of it.
Honestly, I'm proud that we finally have one, and I'm glad that we're able to.
They've worked so hard to get to where they're at. They take their lumps in practice. They take their lumps in matches. You know, they do their best to hang with the guys or even beat the guys, just so that when they step foot on the mat with the girls, now they're a dominant force, something to be reckoned with.
The trio of Eagles include 2 ranked seniors.
I really hope to win, obviously, but obviously it's just like such a big opportunity that you can't be upset or what placement or whatever. You just got to be happy what you're doing, have fun.
And a sophomore who wants to continue to uphold the program's standard.
My thought has been Sophia and Tia are both seniors, and they're both very high ranked, and they're both very good. So I want to come away with something that's gonna make people realize that Jefferson's good.
All while helping grow the sport they love. The tournament will take place tomorrow in La Crosse beginning at 9 a.m. and the championship matches will air tomorrow night on Bally Sports Wisconsin. We'll be right back.
It's January clearance time at A1 Furniture with 10 to 40% off store-wide and tax included on any purchase over $4.99. Huge selection in stock for immediate pickup or delivery, plus 1 year free financing.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
Madison Magazine Winter Restaurant Week is here. Participating restaurants will provide a 3-course dinner starting at $25, featuring wine and more. Dining with a choice. Don't miss Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week 2022, starting January 23rd through the 28th. For participating restaurants, menus, and details, visit MadisonRestaurantWeek.com. Presenting sponsor, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. Supporting sponsor, E&J Gallo Winery.
Weather can be weathered with technology there to help you in a Ford Escape. Winter roads can be tough. Bronco Sport, tougher. And Explorer can take the bite out of chilly mornings. Ford, winter like you mean it. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2021 Edge or Escape and get 0% financing for 66 months plus $1,000 cash back. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Don't miss out on Floor & Decor's grand opening in Monona on February 7th. With our unmatched selection of tile, wood, stone, laminate, vinyl, and more, all at everyday low prices, at Floor & Decor, you'll discover the perfect products for shopping on trend and on budget, all in one stop. Plus, our helpful associates make realizing your vision easy from start to finish, so your upgrade has never been more you. Explore Floor & Decor's newest location in Monona on February 7th, or visit us online at flooranddecor.com.
And now for our high school's most admired alum.
Get up there.
Shut up. This is so embarrassing. Okay, don't make a scene.
Oh, please, you love a scene.
There's no way it's me. Is that good acting?
That's why it's you.
You know her. You love her. You wish you could be her.
Ruh-roh. I told her not to go up there.
What are you doing here?
It's Anna Gomez! Who? Our first gagillionaire.
Gagillion what?
With AT&T Fiber, Anna's got the fastest internet with hyper gig speeds. So her family has crazy fast gaming, and they stream movies in 8K.
I watch so many movies.
Yeah! Give it up for Anna.
I had no idea that we went to the same high school. We have a lot in common.
Please get off my stage.
Okay.
Live like a gagillionaire.
Who are those women?
Get the fastest internet with AT&T Fiber, now with speeds up to 5 gigs. Limited availability.
Get the best deals on name brand mattresses only at A1 Furniture's January clearance event. Save 10 to 40% off and get tax included on any purchase over $499, plus 1 year free financing.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
Trust the First Warn Weather Team for your most accurate forecast. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Finally tonight, meet Jonathan the Tortoise. He is old, but no one really knows how old. What is known, he was gifted to Sir William Gray Wilson back in 1882, and that is good enough for the Guinness Book of World Records to name him the oldest ever of his kind. Jonathan was brought from the Seychelles to the remote island of St. Helena, and Wilson would later become governor there. Photographs from that time show him, there he is, grazing in the garden of the governor's residence. So experts believe he is about 190 years old. Looks pretty good.
I don't think they have any pictures of me doing the weather back in the day. We don't know.
You know,
your voice sounds like his voice there, Gary.
Talk about the Armistice Day storm of 1940.
Oh my gosh, is this happening?
The live view from the Edgewater Skycam. It's cold out there tonight. Skies are partly cloudy. Temperatures are down into the lower teens and upper single digits. Wind chills in a few spots, especially west of Madison, are below zero. Expect lows of about 3 below zero tonight and highs tomorrow in the low 20s.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good and have a great weekend.